Hello, family. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy E, the Dividend Passport Bro, back with another video. Guys, as always, I'd like to say thanks to the new subscribers who subscribe to the channel, and especially the guys who leave comments. I appreciate the comments because, believe it or not, guys, your comments really keep me motivated to make these contents. Okay, guys, to make these contents. All right. So, to the new subscribers, this is not financial advice. The old subscribers already know that. To the new subscribers, this is not financial advice. I'm just a 52-year-old man who makes videos about my portfolio and my portfolio alone. Okay, so if you are here, that means you're interested in making money. And I know I make it look easy sometimes, but it's really not that easy. I lie. It is easy for the most part. And also, it have a lot to do with what's going on in the market, all right, and buying at the right time. So you got it right there. That's the whole thing. Buying at the right time, and if the market go up or down, that helps your portfolio a lot. Okay. And somebody's asked me a question, and I think he said, to be exact. Lord, let me look it up. Let me look at it. Let me look at the. You know what? I don't have to do it here. I can do it on the other side. And what was the question? He said, Edwin, hey Edwin, nice portfolio. I have a question. How much was your initial investment, meaning your money invested? Well, that's, I guess, your own money invested. That's two-part question, right? My initial investment, I started with like $100, right? That's what I started investing with. I opened my portfolio and I put $100 in there. And at the time, I was using M1, right? I was using M1. I put $100 into my regular portfolio, and then I think, if I'm not mistaken, into my Roth, I could only open it with $500, right? I could only put 500. If I might be wrong, but if I can remember correctly, I had to put $500 into my Roth, and then my regular brokerage account, I think I only put $100. So at the time when I opened my account, the total amount was $600. I invested, right? And 500 went into my Roth, and 100 went into my regular brokerage account. That's what my initial investment. Okay. I think I answered the question, right? But right now, I mean, I have over $500,000 invested into my portfolio. And of course, that includes some margins. Okay. My Robinhood portfolio had over $50,000+ of margins, and my own balance, my own portfolio at the time before the transfer over had about, I believe, 40 something thousand dollars of my own money. All right. So, and then my regular portfolio that I have with Fidelity, that portfolio, my own money in that portfolio is over 240 something thousand. But the overall value of that portfolio is close to 500K, right? So now, since I transfer my portfolio over, right, it's over 500K. And that's both my own money and Fidelity money and Robinhood money that's transferred over now. Now it's Fidelity money because Fidelity is going to pay them off, right? And I'm going to owe Fidelity that margin, the amount that's transferring over. So I hope that answers your question, right? So guys, you see, so questions like those are interesting questions. So a lot of time people think, you need, when you start investing, you need a lot of money. You really don't. You can start your portfolio now with Robinhood or even Fidelity with $10, right? Or you can put $5 in there. The minimum you need to invest is $1, right? So you can open up an account, put $1 in there, and start investing, right? So it doesn't take a lot of money to start investing. And when I started initially, I started as a lower yield investor. I still invest in lower yield, right? Dividend Aristocrats, Dividend Kings. I always talk about those guys. And that's how I got started, right? And then when I say, you know what, because I always wanted to have income, right? And for me in the beginning, I say this all the time, right? I only needed $24,000 to retire because at the time I figured my daughter was going to play soccer, so she was going to have a full ride scholarship into university, and I didn't have to put money aside for her. Okay, and of course that did not happen. um, she's lazy. She don't want to run. She want to play basketball. She don't want to run. She play volleyball. She tried every sport out there, even tennis. She really didn't like that because you have to run a lot. But in the end, you have to give your kids every opportunity to be successful. And when she went into university, I figured, well, she's gonna get full ride, full scholarship in university because she wanted the smartest student in her school. But that didn't happen either because she waited until the last minute when I started asking her, right, the whole year before she even got out of graduated high school. I was like, so what's the plan? What's the plan? Oh, I will let you know, Daddy. Have you done this? No, I'm waiting on my mom. Have you done this? No. I was like, sweetheart, why are you waiting on your mom? Your mama didn't go to college. Your dad went to college. I know what you have to do to prepare for college. Yeah, but mama said. So of course, we are where we are today, where we have to pay $20-some thousand a year for her to go to school. But even with all of that, right, that still expedited, blew up my portfolio because when I started investing for her, when I started a separate fund for her, and I was investing in high yield, as I call them, extreme high yield, but I want to have like enough to generate $1,000 a month. That was it, thousand, maybe $1,500 a month. Everything else was coming from my lower yield. And I was like, you know what? I can add more funds into these extreme high yield. That would expedite, that would speed up, right, the amount of money I can have for her to go to school. And the amount in my head was $50,000. All I needed to have in that account for her was 50 grand. And 50 grand would take care of her tuition, which is enough to pay her tuition, right? If we're doing installment payments. But if I'm doing a full payment, I would have to have multiple months of payments sitting aside to pay the tuition, right? So I was like, you know what, let me do margins. And of course, margins doubled up the income from five to $10,000 within no time. But of course, all the stuff happening now that we're dealing with now, right, with tariffs and all the other stuff, the market start to drop, and it affect the income because we have a margin calls. We have to give back the money that we borrow from the bank, Robinhood. We have to put that money back, right? Because I buy something at $25, now it's $20. I owe the bank $5 difference. Except I don't just have one; I have 1,500 of them, right? So that's a lot of money that you have to pay the bank back, right? It's just an example, okay, guys? But that's where we are today. And you know what? Let's get down to the portfolio because I'm over here talking, and it's going to be a long video because I'm already off track. Okay, guys. So this is where we are right now. Watch the videos, learn from the videos, ask questions. Okay, we have over 280 plus videos here. We're almost going. We're not almost. We're still on our way to 3,000 subs. We got over 2,250 plus subscribers. Right, we're on our way. So let's see what's going on. So as you look at this today, right? I look at my portfolios. And between my portfolios, I was a little disappointed, but I'm still happy because guess what, guys? We got paid today, and the market went up, it went down. At some point, my portfolio was down, right? My Fidelity portfolio was down, I think like 2,900, right? And at the end of the day, I was like, oh man, this portfolio is down. We're gonna have another bad day because um, people looking at the quarter is coming to an end, and the new quarter with tariffs, how tariffs going to affect the income for businesses and all this other stuff. So there was people scared, people still selling, people still buying, but a lot of people still selling. So of course that make the market to go down, and then of course the market went back up. Okay, so as you can see towards the end of the day, right? You can still well the day is already over because it's 4 something here, it's 5 something in the U.S. Apple, Microsoft, JP Morgan Chase, Tesla, right? Google, Meta, PayPal, Amazon, J&J, Netflix, all these companies, Comcast, Disney, all of these companies end out pretty good today, right? So that's good for us because it's not at this point, like I said, right? We not only looking at dividend, right? Because if I get a $5,000 dividend and my portfolio drop 10 grand, of even though I get a 5 grand dividend, but I still have to come up with another 5,000 to cover the 5,000 my portfolio is down. So getting a 5 grand dividend and your portfolio go down, that's not good. But if you get a 5 grand dividend and your portfolio go up in the positive direction, 3,000, 4,000, that is great because now you don't have to spend the money you just made to cover up the loan you borrow to buy more positions, right, guys? I hope I explained this. I explained this all right, where it makes sense to you guys, the newcomer. That's why I say if you're new, don't spend your money buying. Don't get margins, right? Because margin will accelerate your positions, give you more positions, give you more income. But if the market go left, now if you don't have that money in your pocket, guess what? They will sell your positions because you have to give them their money back. Okay, so just keep that in mind. All right, Bitcoin is doing decent. Right, it's up a little bit in the hour. Um, Ethereum is up 2.14%, but it's still down under 2,000. Right, so XRP is 240, BNB Binance 633. That is crazy, okay? But it's ranked number 5. Solana ranked number 6. Now you can see the ranking, right? You can see the ranking. And my retirement plan right here is ranked number 17, right? It's still surviving. It's still hanging in there. We continue to go up in the chat. We continue to go up. Let's go over here, right? And this right here. This is easy to use for me because when I click on it, let me see. Where's my Shiba? Okay, when I click on my Shiba is ranked 17, right? This is the 24-hour volume. How much money is going through that? The market cap is 7.47 billion with a B, right? So if you want to buy Shiba, you can buy on any of the platform here. Okay, you can buy on any of these platforms. All right. So this is why I like to use this stuff here because it helps make it easy if you need to look for something, right? Now, this is a free app. You can support them. If you like them, you can donate to them, all this other stuff. It's a free app. And I always share this stuff with you so you guys can see it and do your own research. Okay, guys? Now, I know you said, Edwin, why the hell you still got this up there? I still got this up here because now you can see I move it before my chart spot position because it's only got $181.17 in there. Now, that's what is in there, but it's still zero. I can't trade this amount because this amount is going to transfer over through to ChargeSpot. I mean, to Fidelity at some point. Whenever that happens, I don't know. Okay, but at some point, this is going to transfer over to Fidelity, right? And when it does, I will in turn reactivate the account. If I can't reactivate the account, I'm going to create another account using a different email address. I know I talked about this before. Now, if some of you guys this happened to you before, let me know. So, as I go through the process of reactivating my account since I transfer all of my positions to Fidelity. Okay. Now, the one thing I'm gonna miss, right? The margin interest on Robinhood is great compared to Fidelity is almost double, right? But like I said, a lot of the positions I have in Fidelity would not transfer over to Robinhood. Robinhood do not have all of the positions that I would need. So hence, you see, I still have my list of stuff that I saved over the years in here, right? Some of the stuff I don't even remember why I saved it, but some of the stuff it makes sense. But I still have a lot of stuff in here that I can go back and add to my new position. All right. So this is the overall of this positions in here. At some point when I get back to the US, I'm gonna close this account, my custodian account for my daughter. It's not that simple to just close the account. They want you to write a letter and all this other stuff. Why are you closing the account? I didn't have to do that when I opened it, but when I close it, they want me to write a letter why I'm closing the account, right? Because it's for my daughter. So in this portfolio today, we got income, right? Come into the portfolio right there. And I didn't even spend that. I was so caught up, right, with everything going on in Santa Marta, out walking in the sun. And the sun here is very, very hot. It's probably the same at Cartagena, but I don't really go outside during the day when it's hot. I usually go out, either go to lunch and come back, and it's very close. It's like less than a block away when I go to lunch. Or I will go out to the beach, but it's later on in the evening after 5:30 when the sun is down, when it's not as hot. But I went out there today. The locals called it, Colombians called it, they said picante. It's when the sun is literally burning your skin. That's how hot it was. And I didn't put any sunblocker on until I got outside. I'm like, oh crap. I didn't put any sunblocker on. So if I look a little crispy, that's why. But our portfolio, right, we up today 1.37%, $100 some. The portfolio increased, right? Overall, the portfolio is still down 17%. But we're going to spend this money. Either I'm not going to do it today, but on Monday we're going to spend that money, right? Because we still got dividend coming in. And one of the guys was saying he saw a video with Dividend Nomad, and he was saying if you do drip, if I set up all of my positions to automatic reinvest, it gives you the option to do fractional shares. I mean, the only difference is like when I get paid this $40-something in this portfolio, I would normally buy whatever is going to pay next week, right? That's what I would do. I'll put that money into whatever pay next week, so I can get a little bit more than what I got the week before. So if I decide to do drip in here, and if it allow me to do fractional share, so every time I would deposit money into the account, let's say I made $40-something, right, this week from this position, right? It's going to reinvest automatically back into the same position that I give the money. But if I deposit $100 into this account, right, I can do drip on, not drip, I can do fractional share on everything else. So like I said, I'm going to try that. I haven't had the chance to enable it, but I'm going to do that. Enable drip on this portfolio and see if it doesn't work. It's only $40-something. It's still going back into my portfolio. If it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. But if he says it work, I will give it a shot. It's not going to hurt the portfolio anyway. The money is still going back into the portfolio. But if it does work, that would give me the ability to add more positions, and I can buy fractionally. I can buy stuff into the portfolio and add. If I have $1, I can buy something, right? I can buy a fraction of a share if I have $1, and that is great. Now, if you have a growth account, that's better for me. If you can use, how you call it? If you have a growth account, you can still enable drip because some of the growth portfolios is the dividend growth portfolio. So if you enable drip, right, when you get money into the portfolio that come in, you can automatically buy. But I don't know how that will work because it's not dividend. But it just means thinking outside the box. Okay, but this is where we are, guys. So now I know you guys can see my Fidelity portfolio, but we usually use this here to kind of talk about what's going on with Fidelity because today we are up 0.77% day. We're still, we're still down, 15% in the portfolio, right? Um, and I'm not complaining, right? We made a little bit, but we're still down overall in the portfolio. So, and this is just from Fidelity, all right? The total amount invested is the amount here, 600K, um, and we are down 15%. Okay, 15.1%. So that's a big number, but over time, right? Over time, we will build the portfolio back to where we're going to be generating $100,000 a month. So if we generate $100,000 a month, even though we're down 15%, we will cover that up in no time. We'll be able to build that back up in no time. Okay, so that's the goal: building generational wealth that we can pass down to our kids. Because you know, I remember when my daughter, the older one now, she's 20 about to be 20, right? And she was, I think, about 5 or 6. She was talking, right? And we went to the mall. She wanted some shoes. I was like, let's go to the mall, I'll get you some shoes. That was back then where I would buy stuff from the mall. I don't even wear stuff from the mall right now, shoes from the mall. If I go to buy shoes from the mall, I either go into the stuff if I see something that on a discount or something like that, I go and buy. I don't buy no $150, $200 shoes. I think it's a waste of money. Um, I would buy a nice designer shoes, right? Dress shoes, for $100, $120, $130. But still, for even that, right? But I will have that for 10 years or so. I have a long, I bought 2 pair of black shoes when my mother passed away. I wore those shoes combined maybe 4 times since then, and they still look brand new. If you're not looking on the bottom, you'll be like, oh, this is a brand new shoes. When you look at the bottom, you'll be like, okay, this has been worn a couple of times. And that's what I am with shoes. I'm not a shoe wearing type guy. I wear a lot of tennis shoes. But let me stick to what I'm talking about here. Okay, so we went to the store, and she was like, this girl was no more than, like I said, 5 years old, 6 years old. And I was sitting there, we got the shoes, we ended up getting 2 pair of shoes. And the gentleman was a young guy at the time. He was like talking to her, like, so ma'am, how you gonna pay for this? And she looked at him, she's like, I don't have any money, but my daddy's rich. And you know what? And I'm sitting there, the other day I was sitting there, that's why I can remember this like it was yesterday. And I kind of giggled a little bit. I covered my mouth and I look at her. She said, yes, daddy, you're rich. And now that I sit here and I think about that moment, see, even though my daughter was a kid back then, but she saw something, I don't know, whatever potential, whatever in her dad that he was going to be rich one day in his life, right? And I was like, did my daughter already see that, or she was just talking as a kid? Because I think about that all the time. I go back to moments with my kids, and I was like, was she just being like a little kid that just run her mouth? All kids think their parents are rich, or she actually like knew like my daddy's rich because this time was coming to where I was going to be successful, right? Not only in the stock market, right? I mean, in my career, in my businesses, right? Those kind of things. It's like, man, but this is just something for you to think about sometime, guys. Because when when you were younger in your 20s and 30s, you're living for yourself, you're having fun, you're enjoying. But when you pass that 35 mark, I think when I hit 37, I think it's like that was at the point where I felt like financially, I really needed to get my crap together, right? Because I love to travel. I love to get up and go. And it was like, I need a business or I need a job, right? That will allow me to just get up and go, right? So, and I tried pretty much anything I could think about, any idea, anything I would find on the internet by investing or, opening a online store. Guys, I've done it all. Okay, I've tried it. Okay, and if I try it and I don't like it, I'll be like, okay, you know what? I don't like it. Let's try to break even. And when I can, if some cases, I'll be like, you know what? The hell with it. It's a few $1,000s. We'll let it go because the time and effort it cost more than what it was generating, and either I didn't have the right attitude, I didn't have the right mindset, I didn't have the right person to motivate me to keep me going, and I left that alone. And now that I'm here where I'm at, right, it is completely different. Guys, I make these videos for you, right? And I look at my time and be like, oops, I gotta go make a video. I gotta make the video for my guys, for my girls, right? The ladies and gentlemen that watch the video. I know everybody don't comment. Some people watch the video to watch me fail. That's possible. There was this one cat that I ended up blocking. He would look at my content and make it look like I was an idiot. But when I made a comment on his website, right, he like deleted it and said YouTube deleted it. And then he would come, on here posting stuff, right, to make it seem like I'm a complete idiot. Dude, I'm like, you know what? If you want to do that, you can do it on your site. It's YouTube. This is my YouTube. Okay? If you don't like what I say on my YouTube, you got your YouTube. Make whatever you want to make on your YouTube. But don't come and make your stuff on your YouTube and come over here and, making me look bad around the people that I'm here to motivate. I'm not selling nothing, right? When I create stuff, I'm like, guys, I'm going to do this. If you want to support, you support, right? If I start to sell T-shirts, I'm like, guys, I'm making some shirts. If you want to buy the shirt, buy the shirt, okay? I'm not here saying, guys, cash app me money so I can go on a trip, so I can let you know how it feel like to be making money in the market. No, I don't do that. Before I do anything on here, I talk about that months in advance. I will talk about that all the time. And some of you guys say, Eddie, yeah, we're going to support you. Yeah, okay, cool. If people's life change, for every reason you decide, oh, you know what? I can't do it. Okay, no big deal. Right? Because it's done. Once it's done, it's done. I'm not going back to say, oh, you say you're gonna support me, but you don't support me. No, guys. You know. Okay? You know, life is a journey, right? It go up and down, just like this freaking stock market. Right? One day we're flying high, we're almost at 40 grand a month, right? 2 weeks later, shit happens. We're back down to 20 grand, making our way back up to 30 grand a month. But that's life. That's real life. You can't control that. Okay? We just trying to stay afloat so we can pay our bills, right? And build something for our kids. This is not about me now. I'm 52 years old. I'm living a good life. Yes, I'm enjoying my life. I still got a job. I can continue to live abroad and live way better than I do in the U.S. Right? One check can take care of me for 2-3 months out here. And I don't have to stress about nothing. I got a house paid for. I'm looking at another one to buy. I got places in DR. So it's like, what else can I do to let you know that, hey, I come in peace, okay? If you can motivate people to invest, do that. But don't motivate people to invest trying to bring somebody else down. Look at me. I'm just like you. I'm just like you. I can come on here and talk bad about somebody else, but what that make me look like? To bring somebody else down, to make myself look better. What does that say about you, right? And you look like you just get out of you look like you homeless, but you want to talk bad about somebody else, right? And you look like you homeless. You want to talk bad about somebody else investing a strategy account, but you don't even have right $50,000 in your account. But you want to talk bad about somebody else who have 10 times more money in that account than you do. And not just one account, multiple accounts. So you can't talk bad about people. They say, what's the saying? When you point your finger, right, at somebody, like you can see my finger, put your finger at somebody. One goes to that person, one go to God, and three come back at you, right? It point back at you. So when you point your finger, you might be pointing one finger at that person, one go to the heaven, but you got three fingers that comes back to you. So you might be pointing one, but three coming back to you. So if you shoot one bullet, three bullets coming back to you. You know what I'm saying? So I try my best because I'm a crap talker. I can talk a lot of shit. Believe you me, I can talk a lot of shit. So I try my best to leave people alone, right? Because there's always gonna be somebody who don't like you for whatever reason. The way you look, the way you smell, the way you talk, the kind of car you drive, you know, the way you dress, why people like you. I don't know, right? Because you got pretty teeth, natural pretty teeth. I've never wear, what do you call the thing? What is some people wear? So to straighten their teeth, braces. I've never worn that in my life. Never wore braces in my life. I've been talking about wearing braces because I got a little ugly teeth down here that kind of moving back. I was like, maybe I'll get that fixed so I can have pretty teeth. But at 52 years old, I've never wore braces in my life. But there was somebody that would hate you because you got that one crooked teeth, right? Or you got a prettier teeth than they do. So they're like, oh yeah, you paid to get your teeth fixed. But guess what? Even if you paid to get your teeth fixed, you did it for you, right? You didn't. If I get my teeth fixed, it's because when I look in the mirror, man, that teeth look crooked. You know what I'm saying? It was crooked last year, and it's crooked this year. So what am I going to do about it? Guys, we do things in life. I mean, I don't know about everybody else. I said we, but I do things in life because it makes me happy. Okay? My mama didn't pay for me to go to university. She didn't pay for my brother to go to university. She paid for my first three older siblings, right, to go to university. She did that for them because my father was dead. She did that for them three to pave the way for us, right? My older brother, who is now deceased, he did a lot for me and my other siblings, right? He was like the father figure for all of us, right? Now, until he passed away from COVID, and said we don't know for sure, but until he passed away and he had gotten the shot, the COVID shot, but after he got that shot, he went downhill. But we're not. That's not what we're talking about. But until he passed away, he and we had this. I called my other brother my younger brother because I'm next to him. He's if after him there's just me, so I call him my younger brother because everybody else is older than both of us. But my oldest brother and my youngest brother, right? He's younger than me, older than me, but I call him my younger brother because he's the youngest. Don't make sense. Don't so just listen. But those two guys, my older brother he's dead now, but those two guys we had the best relationship, right? As brothers can have. We can be apart for months. We wouldn't talk for months at a time, but when we get on the phone and talk to each other, it's like we never miss a beat. We can be apart from each other, but when we see each other, it's like we never miss a beat. Now, my other siblings, it's a little different. But those two guys are big different. My sister that passed away, the same, right? I miss her just as much as I miss my mom because She's the one who took care of me when I was a baby. And, even when I was older, I was like, man, I wish she was still here to spend time with her niece. Because that's the only child she didn't see. She saw all my other kids except for that one. But, I say all this to say when we leave, everything, if you do things right, everything goes to your children, right? Not to your mom or to your brother. It's supposed to go to your children because that's when I say my family, I'm talking about my kids. Because when my brother passed away, everything he had went to his wife, right? And his children. Everything, right? Everything went to them because that's his family, right? And everything that had to do with where he was buried and all the other stuff, we didn't have no say. We didn't have any say so, right? His wife and kids had a meeting, and they had a meeting with us, and they called. They said the immediate family, right? The immediate family meaning his wife, and her children, my nieces and nephew, and his wife, which is ex-wife now. She's married somebody else, right? But that was the immediate family. So I'm not married. I'm never gonna get married again. I say that all the time. So you guys who marry, more power to you. I've done it twice, and I don't think I can do it again. But more power to you, right? Now, I have girls. I'm a girl dad. I have nothing but girls, right? I thought I was gonna have a son, but that didn't happen, right? Because I was talking to my ex today. I was like, sometimes my daughter, I wish she were a boy because I can just smack her around because it's a boy. But with a girl, you know, it's different. You can smack the crap out of them, right? You can smack sense into them, because they're girls, and you have to always be gentle and sometimes for me that's hard because I'm not an always gentle type person. I'm a type A personality type person, you know. So guys, remember, right? We do all of this for our family. So if you're in your 20s right now, yeah, you're doing it for yourself. Yeah. But in the long term, you're doing it for your family. And everything as a young person, everything you got now, right? I don't want to scare you guys, but everything you got now, if you ever get married, at some point, your wife is entitled to that, right? Now, I understand if I had nothing, right? And then I marry someone and then I become successful. I believe she's entitled to something. It depends on the role she played in helping me get to another level, right? Some women are very supportive, right? They're going to back you no matter what, right? My ex was kind of like that. Not my daughter, but my other ex, the one that was around for the longest. Very supportive. Um, but when it came to her putting money into something, that she wouldn't do. So in the end, we had to go our separate ways, right? And sometimes I sit there and think about it. It should always have this saying, I'm living my best life. Sometimes I don't know if she's just being sarcastic or being, talking crap to me. But she's a good woman, right? And guys, as men, we're gonna, if you are a straight person, you're gonna have good women in your life, and you're gonna have some not so good women in your life. If you go the other way, you're gonna have men in your life and not so good men. It's just that simple, right? But you have to remember, whichever direction you go, right? You have to remember that family is important. And as you build, if you don't have any kids, think about this. If you don't have any children and you become rich and you don't adopt anybody, nothing like that of that, right? And something happened to you, right? Who is gonna inherit what you worked so hard for? Your cousin that you don't like, your uncle that you really hate, your brother that never really wanted to help you do anything. If your mom's still alive or your father's still alive, would you want them to inherit everything that you work for? Think about that, guys. You guys can comment in if you listen to the video at this point, this far on. Think about that, right? And let me know what your thought process is. Now, sometimes I get to yapping. I just yap, 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 yap. Right? This is an investment channel. I'm not a therapist. Even though I try to motivate you, I think sometimes I really scare you guys. Scare you straight. I don't know if that's possible to scare you to do the right thing for yourself. But the portfolio went up, it went back down because we got paid. We got paid today, right? And we got paid 18,000 so far this month. 18,900. That was the total so far this month. Right? We got this week paid today and then next week. Now, I was looking at the income that we got paid because everything got transferred before we got paid. So I can't really tell if we got paid from how the income from Robinhood is going to show up. Because technically Robinhood income is supposed to drop tonight, right? It doesn't drop today. Or since the process is completed with the transfer, if the income is going to drop. So I don't know. But I'm just going to calculate tomorrow when I do the call what's in Fidelity to say, okay, this is what we made in Fidelity because if something shows up in Robinhood, I would pull that information from Robinhood. If not, we would just pull it in Fidelity, right? Because I was looking at that, everything was like transfer this, transfer this, transfer this. And I was like, okay, but where's my money? So I'm like, Edwin, click on dividend. So I had to clear everything up and then click on dividend. I'm like, oh, okay, well, that goal was came in today. But is that the total amount for the account for Robinhood also? But like I said, right now the estimate is $28,553. So if we can generate this much with the market as it is, right? I think it's good because we surviving to fight another day. And I told you guys right now, once everything clear up, I'm gonna move funds to add into the Charles Robinhood portfolio to start investing, but it's gonna be very little, right? We might buy a couple of things maybe come Wednesday or Thursday or whatever, whenever the market go up and down, but we leaving buffer in the portfolio. For me, you guys know that hard to do, right? That is hard to do, but I'm leaving buffer in the portfolio because we're trying to survive, okay? And if I just go and spend that $4,000 or $5,000, $6,000, whatever it is in there, plus margins, of course, yeah, we have plenty of money to spend. But if something go sideways again, then we got a problem. Even though now, with things that we buy at a discount, it makes it possible, it makes it real good for us to collect more money later on, right? But Misty is at $21, right? I bought Misty in some cases $39, some cases $27. So if I can buy another 4,000 share of Misty before it goes back to $25, $26, that would be great for my portfolio, right? Because I will make up a little bit of difference in the negative downside to the portfolio, right? That's good. It helps with the income. It helps us get to the $80,000 a month, right? Which will give us $1 million a month. If we get to $100 a month, that's a $1.2 million a year, right? And when you subtract the taxes and all this other stuff, we're still close to what, $800,000 a year. That's still a lot of money. 800K a year. Okay, there's so many things I can do. Sitting in here, I was talking to my friend yesterday. I'm like, okay, this land that I'm thinking about buying in the DR, instead of just building something regular, I can build an actual apartment complex out there with 30 units. He's like, you gonna put a elevator in there? I'm like, of course I'm gonna put an elevator in there because nobody want to be stuck going up stairs or 30 floors. You know what I'm saying? To get to the top, to the rooftop. Nobody want to do that. I said, but yes, of course. Because if I have a apartment building in the DR and I can rent half of it as a Airbnb and the other half as regular tenant that live in the apartment, guys, one bedroom $500 a month, two bedroom 800, three bedroom 1,500, 1,200, and these nice apartments, guys, it's gonna go, it's gonna rent, right? It's gonna rent out real nicely. It might cost me $200,000-$300,000 to build that, but I can make that money back within 5 years instead of buying a property and then it take me 10, 15 years to make my money back. That's a long time. I'm old. I don't have that long. I want to make my money back now so I can see it and put that money into something else to grow my portfolio. Guys, I told you this is a business. Every nickel that comes into this portfolio, we're looking on how we're going to spend it somewhere else. Okay? This is my Charles Schwab right here. It's my new build portfolio, my card, all that stuff. You got to get this sucker to about $2,500 at some point, right? $2,500 to $5,000 a month. When this portfolio starts generating that much, $5,000 a month, then we have made it. Because now I can say, okay, well, that's enough to cover my car. The car probably be paid off by the time. But to cover some other bills, if I don't live in the U.S., that is $25,000 a month coming out of here, and the rest going to other things to grow, to make us bigger, larger. My daughter have her own separate account to cover her bills and cover her tuition. Guys, this is what we're doing, right? And I already have an account for my baby, the baby girl. She already have an account. I got 18 years to grow that account. So by the time she get to 18, she can already be a millionaire at the rate that I'm going with her investments, right? By the time she gets to 18, she should already be a millionaire. Not just because her daddy's a millionaire. No, she's going to be a millionaire but on her own free right. Okay, guys. So we are growing these portfolios. We're getting there. Now, these are estimated, of course, guys. It's estimated. Now, this is just Fidelity by itself, 27,000. Okay, that's 600, and they give us 28. Okay, that is still better than nothing, right? We collect $3-4 grand this week. If the portfolio can sustain itself, don't drop nothing crazy. We don't have to do no margin calls, right? And it continue to survive next week. We get paid again next week. And then we go in week by week. So if we survive this week and next week, we should have another $6,000-$7,000 sitting in the account. We might pull $1,000 to invest. We might pull $1,000 to pay for something, right? But we'll have $6,000 sitting there until we get back around to the next month and we got another set of income coming in. Let's say we get back to the next month. Estimated next month is about 36,000. Even if we make 30,000 next month, right? And we can leave a buffer in the account of 20, right? And move out 10 to go to Charles Schwab and Robinhood, right? And pay some bills. So we can put 4,000 in Charles Schwab, put 4,000 in Robinhood, right? Or whatever the amount is, and pay some bills and leave 20 grand in the account. We're still investing now. Don't get me wrong. We're still buying some stuff, right? 1,000 here, 1,000 there. We're still buying. But we're leaving a buffer in the portfolio, right? So by the end of the year, we have $100,000, $200,000 buffer sitting in the portfolio. We are still buying, but we have a buffer just in case something happens. Well, I don't have to worry about transferring money. And that money in there is still collecting interest. So it's still growing. It's not just sitting there. It's not a lot, but 3 or 4% is collecting interest. It's still growing. Now, if I get to the point what I see, you know what, we got enough. Eventually, guess what happened now? We can say, okay, we can turn off margin at some point, right? If I have 200,000, 300,000 in there, my margin is 200,000, 300,000. I don't need margins anymore. Okay, let's turn the margin off. Now, of course, when we turn margin off, our account, it might drop, but then again, might not, because the money we have there going to cover the margin. So whatever we have in the portfolio itself stays the same. We still collect our same amount of income every single month, except this time around, like my other portfolio, there is no margins. That we're not borrowing money. We're not borrowing from Peter to pay Paul. We're using our own money. Now, guys, don't get me wrong. When I decide to start buying commercial real estate, I'm not going to pull my money. I'm going to get a loan from Fidelity or whoever else is going to give me a loan to pay for my property, right? But if I can't get a loan and I'm generating $100,000 a month, guess what? I'm going to give a loan from myself to my business. And the business will in return pay me back with interest, whatever that interest I want it to be, right? Guys, when all these guys that have all the money, they don't sell stuff to go get money. They don't do that. They get the loan based on what the valuation of the money they have. So they pay interest on the loan. When they do the taxes, they pay interest. They get money back based on the money they borrow. But their own money, like if I don't sell stuff, I don't have to pay taxes on it. I only have to pay taxes on what I sell. I only have to pay taxes on the dividend that come in. I don't have to pay taxes on the growth. Okay, guys. So remember that. Look at the time. The video is getting too long. I need to cut it up. Okay, guys. So we go to the future value. Let's run through this. The amount looked like it went up a couple of dollars. It looked like it went down. I can't remember exactly what the amount was yesterday. I can do a quick check here. Let's see what the amount was yesterday. Oh, the amount was $529,145. So we still got $529,151. So it went up $6. That's not bad. Okay, so we're going back. We're finding a way back up. Okay, guys. So I want to say thanks again for you guys sitting there listening to me. I don't know how much of the video you guys are gonna watch. At some point, you might say, "Oh, Edwin's crazy, talking crazy," whatever. But my goal here is to continue to motivate you guys to invest in your future, right? Because, like I said, I don't have to do this. I don't get paid from this, right? What I get paid per day just from doing nothing is less than what I make in YouTube for the month. Okay, guys. And I know you're like, hey, what the hell are you talking about? What I get paid, right, per day, okay, it is more, this is less than what I get paid from YouTube a month from doing nothing and just collecting my dividend. Okay, so sometimes be like, oh man, you're doing this for the money. You want to get rich off of YouTube, blah, blah, blah. Guys, the smart people know these things. And everybody's not smart. Okay? So, of course, this right here, this is one of the other app I use. I don't really use it all the time because usually a projection is higher in income. Okay, you see hourly, This is $53.46 an hour. That's my hourly rate. Just sitting here right now making this video for this hour. It's updating. It's going down. Okay. It's updating. So my hourly rate just went down to $49.48. So just sitting here for this hour making this video, right? I made $49.48 for my investment in 1 hour. Now, daily, $1,187.54 daily. That is me just sitting here eating fruit, going out to the beach, going to a restaurant to eat, picking up my girl from the airport, taking her back to the hotel, whatever I'm doing. This is what I make every day, right? I better make this a month in YouTube, so I can live off $50 a month. That's impossible, right? In Colombia, that's like what, 200,000 pesos. I mean, there are people that live off of 200,000 pesos, but they live in a house with maybe 7, 8 other people, or they have one bedroom that they share with 4 or 5 other people. Okay. But as the number changes in a week's time, right, estimated across the board, $8,335.59 a week. That's weekly. Now, of course, that number go up and down because the market changes, dividend changes, it goes up or down. But based on today's average, this is the amount. Okay. Now, some people don't make that in a month. Some people make that in 3 or 4 months. But I make that now doing nothing, right? Just taking care of my health. Taking care of my health. Taking care of my peace, right? I can generate that by sitting here having a conversation with you guys weekly. I can make my video a week. I probably would never make that amount off of YouTube in a month or in a year, right? But in a month, $36,000. This is the average, of course, estimated. Last month we did 30,000 or 29,000 plus. This month we might do similar numbers or close to 25, 26K. I think right now we're close to 24, 25,000. Just the top of my head. So we might do close to 30 with all the stuff that going on in the past week, with me moving portfolio around, with me selling positions, trying to stay afloat. I don't think that's bad at all. That's great. We're still generating income. We're an income investor, right? I'm not a growth investor. I'm an income investor. I invest for money. I invest to have money to live off of, right? And right now, I have more than enough to live off of, except I have margins. So I have to take that into consideration and work on eliminating margins. So guys, we got a bunch of different stuff in here. M1 in here. Still got money M1. That's not, I haven't updated. Robinhood, still got that 118. That's haven't updated. Fidelity, still it's doing its thing, right? Charlie Swap, it's still updating. I mean, we're gonna get up there to the income, right? The income here is 7. The income on the app is 11. Usually I try to go with the lowest number, right? The mid number. That's why I like to use the 3 app, and I go with the mid number. But I like the other one better, so I go with that number. But from a $7,000 income, right? That's like $6,635 a month, $146 a week, $20 a day, $87 cents an hour. So if we can get our income, right, to double our income, right, to where we had $1.60, $1.70, then we're gonna be over here at $1,000 something dollars. You see that how easy that is? We'll go up a dollar and something, right? We'll go up, just double in this 80 something cents, right? That would double up this amount an hour. Just a simple math, right? So, guys, I show you these things not to brag, not to boast, right? But to help you see the vision in yourself. Like I can get there. I can do it. If Edwin can do it, right? Edwin's an engineer, 20 something years, cybersecurity, right? Senior director, vice president, all the little title you can find, right? But I make more money with less stress doing this than I did for 20 something years having a job. Okay, guys? So I hope this help you, motivate you to get you to that next level. Because each and every one of you guys can do this. Don't look at my portfolio and be like, oh shit, Evan got 400,000. What am I going to get 400,000? That number, the end number for me doesn't matter for you because our goals are different. We don't have the same goal. When I started investing, I tell you guys, my goal was $24,000 a year. That's all I needed. I knew I could live anywhere in DR. I could live in Colombia with $24,000 a year with my lifestyle and be happy. The average income is in both of these countries. It's about $300 a month. That's the average income, and there's a lot of people make below the average income, right? So, if I'm making $2,000, which is 7+ times more than the average income, you don't think I'll be okay? If it's just me and my girlfriend, or me and my daughter and my girlfriend, or my older daughter if she comes to stay, visit, we're going to be fine. I already got a car here. I drove from Cartagena to Barranquilla, from Barranquilla here. Right? The whole trip was like, what, 3-4 hours? That's normal stuff. And going kilometers. If I were driving like US speed, I would have been here in 2 hours, hour and 15 minutes. But that'd be too fast. That'll be going like 130, 140 miles an hour. I probably won't drive that far. I'll be scared. I may doing 110, 120, depending on the car. You can tell you're going that fast, especially when the roads is nice. But over here with the curves and hills and mountains, I probably won't be going that fast. Maybe 80, 90. Right? Because my car is going 120 kilometers. That's about 67, 70 miles an hour in their range, and it feels like it's struggling because it's a small car. But if I can double that speed, go to 120, I mean, that'll cut the time down into half. Dangerous, but it will cut the time down into half. But sometimes getting there faster, that's always the best way because you're not learning anything on the way. Because my friend was sitting there, he was like, man, I've been on this road a bunch of times, but I don't remember none of this stuff. Because, if you're driving, if you're in the bus, you only see what's on the side, and the bus is just going very fast. You can't see what's already there. But when you're in the car, you can see a lot of other stuff that you normally don't get to see. Okay, guys, I know I talked my ass off today. It's Friday, right? I need to save some for the Sunday talk video. But I love you guys, right? Like I said, I do this for you guys. I hope this motivates someone today to invest, right? Dividend Kings, Dividend Aristocrats. Look them up, guys. Dividend Kings, Dividend Aristocrats. You can find that information on the interweb for free. It don't cost you nothing. And put your money in those guys, you'll be fine. At least for starters, until you learn what you need to learn for you to become successful. Okay? So until then, we're going to do this tomorrow. Peace out. Love.